When Corona and its ensuing panic hit Lithuania, I found myself on the coast in Nida for a few days. So, coronavirus is raging worldwide now, and I am going stir crazy. I'm going to quarantine myself on my land. So, I'm getting, as you can see, I've got my bike gear. I want to avoid people on buses, so I'm going to go to my land and then just close myself off there. So there, I'm leaving my neighborhood, getting out of Vilnius. It's supposed to be really freaking cold, but I'll try to survive these next few days. Anyways, I'm getting out of town a little bit. It's along the river, but there's still a big chunk of Vilnius to go before I get out of the city. Next part is not my favorite, but it's the prettiest. There's just nowhere for the bikes to ride aside, except for alongside cars. And here's the first hill of many. I'm just at the beginning, maybe 20 minutes outside of my home. And it looks like I'm already out into the countryside, but I'm basically cutting out to the edge of the city and then riding along the circumference. Oh, climbing up the big hill before I get to the city again. But I'm realizing there's so many cars. It's quarantine with coronavirus and all going on. But as you can see, there's like cars everywhere. It's not normally this busy, especially on this road. Maybe on rush hour, but now is not rush hour. Oh, the last hill before I get out of the park. Difficult. Oh, I'm making it out. Now it's starting to rain. Halfway through Vilnius and it just suddenly started raining. And just as of a few seconds ago, it's turned to hail. How strange the weather. And I'm just about halfway out of Vilnius right now. So I've got a ways to go. Woohoo! It stopped hailing. I'm getting to the second roundabout. And over there is the forest. 2/3 the way out of Vilnius. I'm getting into the other suburbs. Almost like I'm out of the city. But no, this is just the beginning of some neighborhoods until I get to the highway. Vilnius takes a while to get out of. There's a Vilnius look kind of like this. It's a mix between the old and the new. There's some old shacks mixed next to forest. Beside, it's typical of the Lithuanian suburbs, the older ones. People have gardens, greenhouses. The further you go out of the city, the newer the neighborhoods get. And it looks very different from the traditional ones, as we'll see. This is the new residential edge of Vilnius. This looks like any other country. It kind of reminds me of being back when I was little in the United States. Everything is just being cleared. There's less of these gardens. Everything looks similar. There's still some of these. Vilnius is such a contrast between the old and the new. I'm going through the last neighborhood before the edge of Vilnius. Woohoo! Get into the highway. So it usually takes about 50 to 60 minutes to get out of Vilnius, depending on how bad the weather is. And there's the highway. I'm gonna go under it and soon I'll be there. No, it's still a ways to go. It's the highway. And woohoo! I'm a third of the way. So towards Kernavė. This is Avižieniai, the first village outside of Vilnius. It's basically just on the edge of Vilnius. I stay on this road for the next hour and a half, and then I'll be almost there. 10 minutes later, it's a little quieter. Most of the road, I imagine, is gonna be like this. About 10-15 minutes later, this is the view. The scenery is starting to get less and less city-like. About 10 minutes later, up there is the next town. Another 15 or so minutes later. So many cars. God. What helps me bike this otherwise monotonous route is looking at it as not reaching the destination, but on enjoying the ride. And I don't need to get there fast. As long as I pedal away, I'll get it there. So even now the wind is blowing, but reaching the destination is not the priority, it's just the result. I'm getting closer to the next village. Up just ahead is my favorite entire place in all of the bike ride. It's that house in the background. It looks like a hunter's lodge. I love it. This is the raspberry farm. This is some new house they built last year and almost to Dukstos. Up there is my 2/3 of the way point. And up ahead is my favorite hill to go down. And maybe my least favorite to go up. Going back up it takes longer. Finally made it to the top. I think I deserve a banana. So when Corona strikes, apparently people go hiking. Energized. Now the last third of the way. Hopefully most of these cars will turn off. That way is towards the highway. I go straight. This next part is especially beautiful to me. You can see very far in the background normally on clear days. Here you can see the use of chemical farming with fertilizers. All the fertilizers drain to the bottom, and the topsoil up there is poor, shitty soil. It needs more fertilizer. And notice I've got maybe 40 minutes left, and I'm starting to get tired. I'm slowing down my pace. I'm in my region, getting a lot slower going up these hills. I turned off the main road so that I could visit Kernave. Kernave. This is the original capital of Lithuania from the 13th century, or since the 13th century or so. And then there's a bunch of castle hills behind the church where those castles were. And now back towards the main road. Go. Now back on the main road. You can see the church tower of my village up ahead. I'm in the end of it. Almost final stretch. This stretch between Kernave and Musninkai, the town over there, is especially boring. It's just a desert. Getting there. Here's my village. Here's the last turn. 3 kilometers to go. This is the last hill I've got to climb. This is the last kilometer to my land. There's my neighbor's house. Just beyond those trees is my land. Almost there. There's my land. I made it at last. And into my driveway. Oh, it's been a while since I've been here with my bike. Back at my land. Now I need to act fast and set up my tent. I'm wondering if I'll set it up in the greenhouse or whatnot, but I need to then empty the greenhouse here, and I found this. So crap, there was crazy hurricane-like weather last week, and this must have been the result. Guys, I brought this tent back from home. I'm gonna make it a storage place. I'm gonna try to find the other tent and see if it'll fit in the greenhouse. It's getting dark, but I set up one tent here, and surprise, surprise, I'm gonna do something with my greenhouse. I've got my other tent here. This looks awfully familiar, like last year. Now just to get my sleeping bags and stuff. Good morning. I just woke up from my tent. As you can see, there's stuff that's growing. Here I've got broccoli, and then these are cabbage. And then here, these, nothing else yet. These dried out a bit, so I'm realizing I should cover them like this guy. Otherwise, I need to add some more to this wall because I destroyed this in the darkness yesterday. And I've got mustard that's growing. And I'm going to start the fire. I just came back from a trip in the woods. I think these are turkey tail, though I need to double check. Otherwise, I'm halfway through trying to get my pants off and getting the fire restarted. It's pretty hot in here. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Here's one of the things I'm learning many times over is figure out how to make your rocket stove airtight. Because when it stinks up the place, yeah, you gotta empty out and ventilate the whole area, and it loses all of its heat. If I had to narrow it down, I narrowed the problems down to a design feature or a flaw. Is all of the stuff settles on the bottom here, and then it doesn't want to flow. So I need to create like a slant so that things can burn and fall and continue to the flame. Otherwise, it's foam you getting. Finally, there's smoke coming out of the pipe and not from the greenhouse. That's a good sign. Though, yoy, it's so finicky back and forth, especially now. The wind is blowing, so sometimes smoke comes out through here. Other times, you can see it comes out from here. So I'm gonna try to sacrifice, I don't know if I want to sacrifice these pretty stones to the idea of testing out this new way. Less room in here, but if it reduces the smoke, then that's more important. I've never felt closer to my work and and to my food. I want to do some writing now. Sun's already setting. It's 5:30. I planted some onions here, and is a good exercise and preparedness because it's making me realize what do I need to get by. And right now I've been taking the easy way out and eating bread that I prepared, but I'll have to make food going forward. How will I do that? So I'm out here eating a very late breakfast. I bought some oats from my neighbor, and I did not realize that they still had the hulls on them. So realizing it takes a lot more chewing to get through, like twice as long. Otherwise, it's too hot in the greenhouse, and it's pretty nice out. Just very windy today. I'm figuring out what I'm going to do. It's midday, and it's way too hot in that greenhouse. Anyways, if I have any luck, I'm going to have a roof over here again, temporary as it may be. A while since that's come off. This thing is pretty heavy. Let's see what I can do with as one person. I'm gonna try to set it up differently this year to try to completely cover this area instead of going long ways like last year. This is only temporary in any case. Getting this up there is a lot harder than it was taking it down. I gotta think how to get that part over. Might need to use the ladder somehow. Well, part of the way there, I got that over, though I don't know how I'm gonna get it down. This part's very heavy, and I am just one. So here's what I'm gonna test out. Try to glob this all together and be able to pull it up as I get the other part down, but with two hands. Okay, that's supported. I'm gonna try the same thing as before, and hopefully it'll be easier to get this other half up. This giant marshmallow is progress. Oh, that took like another half hour just to get it that much. This is complicated. Definitely better with two people. I think I'm ready to start tying up some of the corners, at least from the back. This is starting to resemble what I'm going after. Folding it in half to double layer it. Now just to get these corners out and tie the rest of it up. For me, that's satisfactory. Okay, I've tied it up. I have a temporary place under the rain. Now I just got to see where the rain collects. One small change is I moved this under here because there's no really good spot for it under the cover. So it'll be a little lounge area. It's officially months since I'm back in Lithuania. Last night was a cold night. I think it was like -5 or so. I wore everything I'm wearing now except for my boots and 2 sleeping bags. And now the sun's coming out and it's going to be too hot in here, just as it was yesterday. Today I'm going to try to fix this up a bit so it doesn't fall apart anymore. Here, I added these stakes in to support it. That's what I should have done on this side. Oh well, too late now. Good enough for now. I'm gonna stand on this and not worry about it falling. So it's pretty cold still in the daytime under the sun, and in the greenhouse it's too cold. However, as of last night, I started cooking on the mini rocket stove outdoors again. Because I tried cooking on the rocket stove inside, but it takes too long for the pan to heat up, and this is just way quicker. The mistake of leaving my potatoes out in the wheelbarrow during the night. They froze, and now they're thawing, they're more squishy. They're still edible, I take it, but it's just not good for them. And my wheelbarrow is busted. It keeps falling down. So I gotta clean these potatoes. And potatoes and zucchini. Well, this is what I do as the sun sets. It gets quite a bit colder in here. So I stand around the rocket stove and I eat potatoes and onions. The rocket stove is burning really hot, though it's not giving off as much heat as I would have thought. And it takes a while for this to heat up. So yeah, I'm wondering how much use this rocket stove gives. Thing is, there's cracks in especially this door and in that door, so it loses a lot of the heat as well. So, according to the forecast last week, it should have cooled down as of today, but as forecasts aren't 100%, it's showing that it's still supposed to be cold for the next few nights, and I'm tired of freezing my butt off, so I'm gonna bike back home and bring back the stuff that I forgot to bring so that I can start making maps of the land. And I'm gonna leave everything here as is. I'm gonna close the tent up, and right now I just planted some carrots. I want to throw some compost over it. Hopefully it dries a bit. I left this outside so it froze. Now it's thawing. So here I made 3 rows. The first row is carrots, the second row is peas, and the third row is some brassica that one of my hosts from Spain gave me. And so I'm continually trying to improve this land. I think it's very acidic crap. So adding that, and I'm gonna add some compost onto it. Planted my carrots and whatever else is there. I'm leaving the rest of this as is. Oh, I will need you though. And I should be back in 2 days, hopefully, and it should be pretty cooler than now. The problem with staying longer now is that although it's very nice during the daytime, it's very nice and ideal now. It gets so cold at night and in the morning, and I'm using the rocket stove, but it's not heating the entire greenhouse. And I think a large chunk of it has to do with these holes that are just letting the heat out. So I think I'm gonna come back and hang something over both sides. And the other thing is that I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I'm rubbing myself just to stay warm. And I forgot some tools to draw maps, so I want to get back with everything. Well, bye for this time. To Vilnius. Again, it's the same road, but in reverse. And on a Tuesday, and there's less cars on the road. Woohoo! Unlike last time also, I've got some wind on my back, and it's cutting through this road like butter. I'm making it through Kernavere right now. Woohoo! A sixth of the way there. Almost there. Up ahead is Vilnius. I'm 2/3 of the way there, and my fingers are freezing. Getting back into the city, when my fingers are really cold now.